line goes.
Perfect.
And skip right over Cam. That's media, Arnie football practice after the year. I have a chance to talk to the offensive coordinator, and that's Cody Worley. Cody, good to see you. What's it like to have your team out on the field?
Well, it's incredible. You know, we had our summer. We finally get to camp, and it's finally here. And I've loved the energy and the attitude of the guys, but there's nothing like getting on the grass. So incredibly excited.
Very good. Talked with Bryson Daly yesterday, so I'm at the American Conference Media Day. How is he developing? He's played most of last year, had a great last 4 games of the season. How is he developing and preparing for this year?
Well, one, he's doing a great job as a leader, and he was named a team captain. He's a senior. He has experience, has had his ebb and flows last year, but finished the season really, really strong. We're really excited to have him back, but he's doing a great job day to day, working on fundamentals, working on little things, working on his leadership and doing his job, and helping bring the young guys along. I'm really excited where he is right now.
We talked a little bit with Coach Munkin about the changes in the offense. You're going back, as I understand, to a little more run-oriented, a little more option, a little more under center. Is that correct? Are those some of the directions you're looking at?
Yeah, I think when you build an offensive package, a lot of it has to deal with the personnel that we have. And we've got a great group of guys coming back, really excited about offensive linemen, really excited about guys like Kanye Udo, and the wide receiver core and the guys that competed and played last year, and hopefully some new faces with that as well. So building that package that best suits us, fits our culture here, gives us the best chance to win. So you'll be seeing several different things in terms of scheme and how we attack certain opponents and how we attack certain defensive structures, but you'll see a little bit of everything.
He kind of marveled last year, all of us at Brady Small, the job he did as a freshman, moving into the center position from another position, and then being able to make all the adjustments during the course of the season. How is he growing in his second year?
He's doing incredible. And what an unbelievable year for a freshman, especially at West Point. And he did go to the prep school, but, you know, he comes in, he starts every game, he plays every game, only came out a few snaps. But he's done an incredible job taking a leadership role along with guys like Lucas Scott. But I'm really excited to have a guy up the middle, guys that have returned when you look at the pipe, and the guys that are returning up the middle. Guys like Brady at the center position, Bryson Daly at the quarterback position, the backs that we have returning, you feel really good, especially with the core of the guys that are at the forefront, up the middle with what we're doing. So I'm really excited where Brady is, the growth that he's done, and he's getting better every day.
And you got, we just talked to Booby Law, who's coming back from an injury, as is Bill Cassianis, who had missed most of last year. And I've seen he's got a new position on the line this year. Tell us about Bill Cassianis and Booby Law coming back.
So Bill has a lot of flexibility. He's really similar to Brady, you know, so he gives us flexibility up front positionally. He can play any of the interior positions. And then having a veteran guy like Booby Law, that has played in multiple systems, athletic, long, has played both tackle positions, has won games and done a lot of good things for us. So having that core back, getting Bill back from injury, he gives us flexibility at the center and the guard position, and then having a veteran tackle like Booby stepping back up from injury, and he's doing a really good job right now as well. Both of them are competing and pushing every day.
Coach, just final thought for you is looking at the American Athletic Conference, the teams in, I'm sure you spent time looking at the defenses over the winter and spring. Although the transfer portal, you kind of never know who exactly is going to be there. How do you size up the defenses you're going to face in the American Football Conference?
Well, personal opinion, I think the American Athletic Conference is the best group of 5 conference. They're really talented, a lot of great coaches. So a lot of speed, a lot of length, a lot of size, and, you know, they're infiltrating the roster with the transfer portal. We may even see faces that aren't on rosters right now. So it's subject to change, but it's a really talented league. And there will be talent on every team, on every roster at every level. So it's an incredible challenge for us, but really excited for the opportunity to compete and play in, you know, one of the best conferences in college football.
And with Ken McMillan on one.
Hi, Cody. Ken McMillan from The Record.
Hey, Ken.
Cody, I guess Kanye Udo is going to come in next. Just tell me about, you know, this guy and the kind of year he had as a freshman was kind of spectacular.
Well, one, he's an incredible talent, and two, he's a phenomenal kid. Really coachable, cares a lot about his teammates. Not with the production that he had, he was still a guy that whether he had 18 carries or 2 carries, he's all about the team and he puts the team first. But with a guy like that talent coming off of a spectacular freshman year, I think ourselves included, the fans, everybody that's going to be involved in watching the growth. I think you're going to see a better product. I think the Kanye Udo that's playing right now, that's going through camp through the first 2 practices and going through a spring and had time to develop coming out of his freshman year. You're already seeing growth fundamentally. You're already seeing things that, he's building upon from last year with vision, understanding schemes, and doing a lot of great things. So he's primed for a phenomenal year. We're really excited to have him, but he's doing a great job and putting in the work.
You had the experience of a Riley and a Buchanan for several years. Now you've got Hayden Reed, you've got Kanye Udo, who are both young. How are they ahead of the schedule in their development, or are we going to see them get worlds better because they have a couple years now?
I mean, I think you look like a guy like Hayden Reed. He played as a freshman in 2022. And did a lot of great things. And you could see the growth and the type of player that he was capable of. He like Bill Katsianis, gives us a lot of flexibility. He's really talented, multifaceted, can do a lot of different things. But he does have experience. He has game experience, phenomenal game against UTSA last year, played in 2022. So you got guys like, Kanye coming back. You've got Hayden Reed, really excited about Jay Crandina. A veteran guy like AJ Williams is doing a great job at the running back position. And then I'm really excited about the freshman group and the guys that we have returning. So I think we can have a deep group of running backs and guys who have had experience, guys who have had success, and guys that we can build upon.
Cody, you've had a couple years working with the quarterbacks. Tell me about the room. Bryson at the top, as we all know, but tell me about the development beyond that. How critical is it to get them up to speed in the next month?
I love the room right now. You got a guy like Dwayne Coleman, who is a veteran player. He's going into his 3rd year in the program. He's a trustworthy kid, and he's getting better every day, and he's getting more and more comfortable with what we do. And then you got a guy like Cale Helms, who's a freshman, really talented kid coming out of high school. When you look at his stats, playing in the highest level in the state of Texas and dominant at times. So we're really excited about his growth and development. But I think camp is critical. Every phase is critical. So you saw a lot of growth in the spring. And then they had an opportunity to go through 8 weeks of the summer, where we did player-led practices, meetings, and they were doing stuff on their own. And now through 2 days of practice, I can already see drastic changes in their development fundamentally, and their developmentally. So I'm really excited about the young core of guys as well. It's hard to say after 2 days, but what I've seen through 2 days with some of our incoming guys and rookie guys, I think that room has a chance to be deep. And as you know, over the years, we need that room to be deep. So the development in those guys is critical over camp, and I'm excited where they are right now.
Cody, last thing, we obviously talked in the spring after spring ball about you taking over the coordinator spot and all. How much more comfortable are you with what you want to accomplish as coordinator, since April? Do you feel like you've kind of grown or just have a better understanding of what you want to accomplish?
Absolutely. It's just like a player. You go through a process and a development in the spring. We were able, and luckily, I have a phenomenal staff with guys that I trust and guys I enjoy going to work with every day that maximize their position group, so they make my job even easier. But you go through the spring, you troubleshoot, you have trial and error, things that you really like, things that maybe you tried and you didn't like. So I really feel comfortable and excited about where our package is. And naturally, just like through spring, we'll add some items, we'll dump some items, and really come up with the best core package with the personnel that we have. But, to answer your question, long-winded, I feel way more comfortable now than even going into the spring, just understanding personnel, what we're able to accomplish, what we can handle, while being complicated for defenses, but simple enough for us to execute. So I'm excited. It's a growth process every day. But so far so good through the first 2 days.
Are you still a quarterback coach and OC?
I am, yes, sir.
Does that make it better, easier for you as opposed to having two different voices?
Honestly, it is. It's a direct line. So they're on the same page with what I'm thinking, and I can kind of reiterate things, and they can understand play calls, they can understand procedure and situations, and kind of what I'm thinking. And anytime you have a direct line of communication with the quarterback position and the play caller, I think it does help. I think it's been really productive. I think they enjoy it because they kind of understand the vision and what we're trying to get accomplished. Also think that it's helped them kind of compartmentalize things and really have an overall understanding of what we're trying to do. Because I want them to be a direct, line of me on game day and our staff and what we're trying to get accomplished. So it does make things easier.
Thanks, Cody.
Thank you, Ken.
One quick question. On game day, would be you up in the press box or be on the sideline?
So it's still subject. I got comfortable doing things. I've called games from the field. I've called games from the box. With the new communication, we'll see, being able to directly talk to the quarterback. If we'll kind of troubleshoot that through the fall. But I won't know. So it'll be kind of play it by ear. Right now, if you had a gun to my head, I'd say it'd be up in the box.
What's the new communications capability you have with the quarterback?
So NCAA passed where you have helmet communication, just like the NFL, and that's NCAA wide, Division I, FBS wide. So if you see a green dot on a helmet, that means he has communication directly, coach to player communication. That will start this year.
Very good. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Joe, go ahead for two. Hey, Coach Worley. First question, you mentioned Jake Rendina earlier. I know he's newer addition to the backfield. Had a really big spring game, and he's just a load to tackle, and I'm sure he's an awesome blocker too. Talk a little bit about the skill sets he brings to that fullback position for you.
Well, one, you start with his build and his mentality, and he's exactly a prototype for a different type of back. And I think when you have different skill sets, you got Kanye, you got Hayden, you got Jake Rendina, I think it creates some of those changes with that backfield and forces defenses to have to defend certain things and really rely on their skill set and their strengths. But Jake Rendina, I mean, he's as tough as a kid that I've coached and been around. He's gotten incredibly better fundamentally. When you look at his growth through the spring, he'll be the first to tell you he can't wait to block. And that's he can tote it, and he's gotten better. But he's a guy that is really physical, enjoys that part of the game. He's got the perfect mentality for that position here, and he's only going to get better.
And following up on that, you kind of mentioned, a number of the different running backs and kind of forcing people to defend different skill sets and everything. Sounds like, and Kanye and Hayden and Jake and the other backs all have different skill sets. Sounds like you plan to take advantage of that a lot, which is great. So can we kind of maybe count on some different looks depending on who's in the game from time to time?
Sure. I think anytime you look at, any level of football, you want to put your players in position to succeed based on their skill set. You don't ever want to get to like some NFL, as soon as it's the third down back that comes in, he's good at pass pro, he's good at running routes. You want them to have a shared skill set so they can be able to do everything. But we as coaches diagnose what they're going to be really good at and what they're best at. But they have to have a well-rounded skill set. But we'll put them in the best position so they can be successful, so our unit can be successful.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. All good. Thank you, guys.